Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be painting up, once again, the Light of Eltharion for the second time on the channel. I happen to have a second one, just cause. I painted one a long time ago for the Lumineth Realm Lords. Lumineth Realm Lords. One of my least favorite armies to paint. I wanted to choose this as some sort of like opportunity to flex, to see how much better I've gotten, and man, it has been a couple of years since I've painted a single model from this army, and I still hate it so much. Anyway, I assembled the model this time, fully assembled, except his main body is not attached to his cape and head. Yeah. And here are all the paints I used for this session. Alright, with Ulthuan Grey and Bold Titanium White, we're going to use this as the undercoat. So, Ulthuan Grey all over. It's a very strong color that has a good base. Like foundation, it can easily cover up black, and then I'm going to use Bold Titanium White from Pro Acryl from up above with an airbrush to create the light and dark shadows, and finally have a good white for this. And here's where I make my first massive mistake. So with Seraphim Sepia, I placed this as a wash over the model, when instead I should have taken a fine brush and carefully apply it into the recesses that I need exactly. Because that would have been far faster than doing the alternative of what I actually did. And now with Pro Acryl Bold Titanium White, I then reapplied the white all over the armor. I apply it on every edge and fill in every center piece, leaving only the meeting points between the flat and the raised areas as still with the Seraph Sepia. This took a long time. Alright, with Pro Acryl Bold Titanium White, Calidor Sky, Temple Guard Blue, we're going to work on his headdress thing. So basically a Bold Titanium White all over to make sure it's evenly distributed all over the feathers and stuff. The airbrushing made it uneven. Then with a heavily watered down Temple Guard Blue, actually not watered down, I used, what was it, Lamian Medium to retain its viscosity. And then I applied this on like 90% of the headdress. Then I took Calidor Sky, fortunately was not as diluted, and applied it where the feathers met the head. Now there's going to be some metal painted onto there, and it's going to cover most of it, so only going to be a thin line of Calidor Sky. But eventually went back with Pro Acryl White and like fixed a lot of the feathering, which is just painting straight lines that go from where the feathers are embedded in the helmet to the edge. And now with Rhinox Hide and Mournfang Brown, we're going to be painting, so like the insides of his arms and legs are essentially hollow, but they have, like, as far as I can tell, leather or fur stuff in there to make it comfortable. Makes no sense to me. Basically filling with Rhinox Hide and then edge the circles with Mournfang Brown. Yeah. Alright, with Abaddon Black and Eshin Grey, we're going to do the cape based off the official artwork and stuff. So, a base layer of Abaddon Black all over. Then I'm going to take a mix of Abaddon Black and Eshin Grey, but you could barely distinguish it, so it just reinforced the color. So what I did was take Eshin Grey, watered it down a lot, and just built up some layers, going from the dark to the light, and just kept building up more and more layers of Eshin Grey here and there, and it kind of worked. And at the very end, I took very watered down Abaddon Black and reapplied it all over to sort of tie all the colors together. And now with Cantor Blue, Hoeth Blue, and Fenrisian Grey, but not really, I barely used it, well actually I didn't use it at all. So with Cantor Blue, base layer on all the tassels, there's also one on his chest, and all on his cape, and then I basically just highlighted them with Hoeth Blue. And as far as the two ribbons that come out of his helmet, base layer of Cantor Blue, but it was watered down enough so that the pre-coating showed through, and then Hoeth Blue has a strong highlight on the edges and most raised folds. Yeah. Alright, with Hoeth Blue and Fenrisian Grey, I'm going to paint the handles of his weapon. So basically, base layer of Hoeth Blue all over, then Fenrisian Grey, filling it in, except for, yeah, pretty much filling in the handles and stuff, and that's about it. Alright, with Xandri Dust, Dawnstone, and Calidor Sky, I'm going to paint the stones he's standing on. So I give it a base layer of Xandri Dust all over. And then somehow I completely forgot to record me dry brushing with Dawnstone. So basically a combination of dry brushing, overbrushing, whatever, covered all the rocks with Dawnstone. So only a little bit of the Xandri Dust pierced through. Then with very watered down Calidor Sky, I applied it all over. This did not work. Used watered down Drakenhof Nightshade. I eventually fix it later. I then use Administrative Gray and overbrushed it / dry brushed it to bring out some more of the brightness of the edges of the stone. Alright, with Straken Green, Xandri Dust, and Orc Flesh, we're going to paint the grass stalks that are on the base model. So base layer of Straken Green all over, then thin lines of Xandri Dust in the front and back of some of the grass, the top 60%. Then with very watered down Orc Flesh, apply this all over to sort of balance the colors and fill in any gaps of the wheat heads. Yeah. Alright, with Mournfang Brown, Agrax Roshade, and XV88, we're going to paint the leather. There's leather straps and his scabbards. Now, in the box art, the scabbards are the same color as armor. I think that's dumb. So, Mournfang Brown base, then we're doing 2 layers of Agrax Earthshade to darken and stuff, then re-highlight all the plates, non-crevices and stuff with Mournfang Brown, including the edges of the straps. Then with XV88 mixed with Mournfang Brown, we highlight the edges of all the straps, and that's pretty much it. Alright, with AK Interactive Ultra Matte Varnish, I'm going to basically, so mix it with a little bit of water so it doesn't whiten, and then I just apply several coats of this on pretty much everything. Alright, with Duraluminum, which is just a bright silver, but from Vallejo, and Skeleton Horde Contrast Paint, we're going to paint the, well, most of the metal. So with Duraluminum, we're going to paint the scales on armor, his medallion on the front, his swords, their pommels, like parts of his helmet, the front edges and stuff. Yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And then once that is all done and dry, oh yeah, and also pieces of his scabbard and stuff. We're going to apply Skeleton Horde Contrast onto pretty much all of it except the swords and the helmet and stuff. And we'll apply a few layers onto the medallion, especially the center indent with that bird symbol, so that it fills out and has a better color. And then once all that is done, we re-highlight a little bit of his helmet and stuff, and re-highlight the scales, just the tips of each of them, and that's about it. Alright, with Duraluminum and Drakenhof Nightshade, we're going to paint his swords. So basically, the swords are already silver from previous steps, but we're going to take Drakenhof Nightshade watered down, and we're going to apply it all over. Probably was a waste of time. I should have probably just applied pure. Probably would have been better and faster. I had to apply multiple coats because it was watered down, and so it could fill in the indents and symbols on his weapons. And then I just highlighted the edges, the center line, and then made scrapes onto the blade edges and stuff with the duraluminum to create the edge and scrapes, or cuts or damages on the sword. Yeah. Alright, with Liberator Gold, I applied this on the sword guards, sword guards, as well as the parts of his helmet, the pointy parts, and the heron, that on his helmet. I did also go back with a little bit of the silver and highlight the heron so that its edges stay, pop out. Alright, bringing something a blast from the past. So with Abaddon Black and Vallejo, the Shifter's color, which is basically paint that every time you look at it from an angle, it changes color. So this one is white pearl to violet. So basically it requires a gloss black base, but I'm not doing the gloss, so just black. So Abaddon Black on the gem on his shoulder, the gems on his swords. Yeah, and then I apply like 2 layers of this, the Shifter's, the pearl on them. And that's it, and then I just assemble the model. Alright, he is done. Meh. It's weird. This model line is just weird. I took this, I wanted to do this sort of to smack away at my pile of shame, but also as sort of a palette cleanser, as an opportunity to do better, since I haven't painted this kind of models in a long time, so I figured I could do it much better. I think the first time I did this model, I was far better at it, or I did a better end result. But man, this was just ridiculous. This was annoying and difficult to paint again. Why is this model line so difficult? Well, the main issues is just that, like, I wasn't able to really accomplish what I thought I could do in my head. It was very tedious. It's like I could not get any of the colors to work how I wanted to. It's like the last couple years of my abilities and skill just went out the window the moment I picked up this model kit. Well, anyway. So overall, I mean... Okay, it's not ugly, it's not bad. But you know what? After thinking about it, I just genuinely do not like the aesthetic of the Lumineth Realm Lords. Thank God this is the last one I have of it, but... Yeah, I don't like their look. I genuinely do not. Like, I can't find the masterpiece for art in it. It's hard to describe it, but I can't see... I don't like the way it looks. I can't find its beauty. It just doesn't gel with me. The aesthetic and design. It is beautiful in its own way, but it's just like it's alien to me. I don't get it. So, I mean, honestly, the model looks plain. Just the basic white armor and stuff, it's weird, but it feels plain. It is above tabletop standard, I will say that. He is decent, but for me, at best, I would give him a 7 out of 10 for my work. And, yeah, that's about it. So... yeah. Okay, last Lumineth Realm Lords model ever. Unless they pump out something really cool and I just happen to be available to do something about it. But yeah. So, like the video if you like the video, share if you want to share, comment if you want to comment, and more to come eventually. Bye.